All right, good Sunday afternoon, everyone. It is June 14th, 2026, and had a cold front move through Sunday afternoon. Behind that, some relatively pleasant air moving in. Now, I know rain chances over the last few days have been very tricky. There's some frustration out there that many of you have actually missed out on some of the rain here recently. And let me just tell you that I share in that frustration as well. These are summertime patterns that are often we're reliant on instability, which means that one little kink in the atmosphere, such as some rain that's not really expected, maybe some light rain, some cloud cover, can actually help reduce that instability and keep storms from developing. In some ways, that's good news, but other ways, that's bad news, especially if we are needing some wet weather. Cold front moving through right now, and behind that, that big blue H you see out in Kansas, that's high pressure. It's going to build in, and we are going to usher in actually some very pleasant air to begin the upcoming work week. So some dry air to start the week. Notice as we go throughout here, we are dry through the day on Monday, and then our next chance for a little bit of wet weather arrives Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. That's a little weak cold front trying to move in from the north and west. So let's break down everything to expect this week. There's already a lot of social media buzz, and I'll go ahead and call it hype, regarding severe weather potential towards the middle of the week. And so let's break down exactly what to expect. All right. So enjoying some nice weather behind the cold front. These are dew points. So how much moisture, how much humidity is in the air. When dew points start getting in the upper 60s and lower 70s, well, it becomes a notable thing. We start really feeling that humidity. There's the dew points falling back into the 50s Monday, some very pleasant air, dew points in the lower 50s. In fact, Monday afternoon, possibly even some dew points in the upper 40s. For the middle of June, that is very, very nice weather. All right. We start to see as we head into Tuesday afternoon, dew points start to climb back up. You can see the little cold front working its way through northern Missouri and west central Illinois as a result of that. And that is going to start seeing some moisture pool out ahead of it. So there's that little chance for some showers coming in with that, maybe Wednesday late in the day and into Wednesday evening. The focus for this week is really going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. I know there's been a lot of talk about Wednesday, but I also want to highlight Thursday as a chance that we could be dealing with some wet weather here in our area. Notice big surge in dew points. They climb back in the lower 70s. So again, that's that real muggy air. So we are at least setting the stage with that, and better chances for moisture as a result. Speaking of moisture, we can measure exactly how much moisture is in the air. And as we go throughout this week, there you go, Wednesday. Notice a lot of moisture in the bright yellows and the oranges from northern Missouri back into central Illinois. And then that pushes southward into our area very, very late Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. So that's that chance for storms that we're talking about there. Notice some of that moisture kind of pools possibly near the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi and some of our far southern counties then on Thursday. So there's a chance that we could still be dealing with some wet weather into Thursday. Storm Prediction Center, not much of a surprise here, highlighting areas for Wednesday. I really want to focus on the area there in the level 3, that orange color from northern Missouri back into central Illinois. That to me has been the spot that really jumps off the charts for potential for severe weather on Wednesday. So again, I know there's a lot of hype out there talking about big time severe weather or significant severe weather, possibly to our north, northern Missouri into central Illinois, and possibly even into northern Illinois, and even possibly into parts of northern Indiana. So that area is in a level 3. Notice it just barely bounces into our area along the I-64 corridor, and then further to the south, a level 2 encompassing pretty much the rest of southern Illinois. You'll probably note here over the last couple of days some of the challenges in forecasting. So this is still 4 days out. There are still a lot of questions, folks. Anybody saying that, hey, this is a for sure thing that we're going to see a lot of severe weather just has not been paying attention or doesn't know what they're talking about at this point, because there's still a lot of question marks when it comes to severe weather. A lot of things, especially during the summertime, that can throw a kink in forecasts. But let's go ahead and start. We'll look at instability here real quick and why there's some concern about severe weather. Instability on Tuesday, not much of a concern. But then as we head into Wednesday, notice it really starts to pool up into this northern area and parts of Missouri, west central Illinois. Notice a little bit lower further to the south here in our area. The other thing I'll point out is we're looking for lift. So trying to generate storms. How are we going to produce storms? You'll see that really gets focused Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening across, again, northern Missouri, central Illinois as a corridor. And then as we make our way into the evening hours, that does come into our area, but notice it's not as defined. We lose some of that lift. That's why I think that there's going to be a bigger risk say from about Hannibal, Missouri, back over, say, closer to Peoria, Illinois. And that risk may actually drop off fairly quickly further to the south. It's something we'll keep an eye on, but that's one of the things that we will be tracking as well. Then we look at winds. This is for June. I'll tell you what, this is a very impressive wind signature. But once again, look where it's focused. Northern Missouri, central Illinois. So everything kind of coming together there. It does spread a little bit further to the south as we make our way into the evening hours, but the better lift is going to be way out here with that. Again, we're kind of seeing it fall apart potentially as it gets a little closer to us. All right, let's go ahead and track moisture. Again, what this model actually is trying to produce as far as rain goes. There it goes into Tuesday. There's those little showers we're talking about. And then here on Wednesday, there's the big storms developing Iowa, northern Missouri, central Illinois. And then we lose some of that lift a little bit further to the south, as indicated. In fact, that line of storms kind of weakens as it gets closer to us. There's a lot pointing to that as being one of the main things that will happen. Again, we're still several days away. But the other thing I want to show you here is the AI-generated models. We're starting to see more and more AI incorporated into forecasting models. And whether you like AI or not, it's here. We've got to learn from it. We've got to use it if we've got it, because they are tools that are going to be for the future. This is a model that has really jumped on the scene over the last, say, year or so. And this is showing the tornado risk based on historical context, based on models. And as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, so notice, again, where you start seeing the bright yellows, look where that peaks, right? Highlighted with that wind signature right there across central Illinois. Notice the threat level further to the south is much, much lower in our area. In fact, that was just a live update coming in. And look at that. It actually moved it even further to the north and taking it out of our area. When we actually look at the wind threat, I'll go ahead and switch that over. Damaging wind threat, once again, kind of falls apart as that line gets a little bit further to the south. Now, as far as thunderstorms go, we can actually track just lightning as well. And even that, look at that, big time storms, there they are, central, and then they kind of fall apart as they get further to the south. So that's enough in my forecast to really think that the bigger threat for severe weather is not going to be in southern Illinois. Still some time out there for everything to get ironed out. But right now, I'm thinking the bigger threat is going to be north of us across central Illinois and northern Missouri. So for those of you that have storm anxiety here in southern Illinois right now, it's nothing to panic over. Again, in fact, I'm not too concerned about it here in our neck of the woods. We'll fine tune the forecast as we get a little bit closer and get a little bit more information. But that's what I'm thinking about right now. All right, cold front moves through. Again, Sunday afternoon, much more pleasant. Monday, Tuesday, chance for showers towards the later part of the day. Not everybody's going to get wet, so if you've got plans, don't be canceling those plans Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening at this point. Wednesday, the threat for showers and thunderstorms is going to be focused very late Wednesday night. We could see one or two during the morning hours as the warm front lifts northward, but really we think the focus is going to be late Wednesday night. And then on Thursday as well, possibly Thursday morning for much of our area, and then trending south throughout the day. Later in the week, we get this cold front that moves through, and once again, drier, less humid air starts to move back in. Friday, Saturday, Sunday looking very nice, actually running a little bit cooler than average for this time of year. We appreciate you joining us each week for these weekly weather updates. These are brought to you by Clark Mix On-Site Concrete Pumping, 618-997-3889. If you've got a concrete project this summer, make sure you're saving time, saving money. And Clark Mix On-Site Concrete, located on the east side of Marion, just great folks to work with. Highly encourage, if you need concrete, to give them a call. All right, so we have only seen 3 days so far this year with temperatures in the 90s. And it looks like that may be the rest of the 90s, potentially through the rest of this month. Really expecting cooler than average temperatures overall through the second half of the month. This is a temperature outlook June 20th through the 24th. Even go a little bit further, and once again, June 22nd through the 28th, actually showing cooler than average conditions. So again, to recap everything, cool start to the week. Enjoy it. It should be a real nice day on Monday. A couple showers late in the day on Tuesday. Nothing to be too concerned about. Most of Wednesday, you're going to hear all this talk this week about severe weather. Most of Wednesday here in southern Illinois is going to be dry. It is not worth canceling plans over at this point. If we see storms Wednesday, it will be very late in the night and then likely into early Thursday morning. I do think that the bigger risk for severe weather is going to be to our north. Could we see some stronger storms here in our area, possibly with some gusty winds late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning? Sure, we could. But I really think that if we're talking about significant severe weather, it is going to be to our north. Beyond that, once that cold front goes through later in the week, great weather heading our way late this weekend into next weekend. We'll have, of course, more updates as we go throughout the week, talking about the chance for storms. In the meantime, enjoy it and have a great week.